Hello everyone, back into today's first video. We're going to have a quick look at what's going on in the Gulf. There's Tropical Storm Cristobal at the moment that's sitting over the southern part of Mexico. It's going to move northwards into the Gulf of Mexico over the next couple of days, or from around Friday really. It'll pick up energy and moisture. It'll develop into quite a significant tropical storm, and going to push northwards and slam into the United States Gulf Coast as we get through to the latter part of the weekend. So I'll talk you through what's happening with Cristobal very shortly. Just to say that if you're enjoying videos on the channel, can you please like, share and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, thank you so much everybody for doing that. Right then, so let's have a look. This is the current position of the Tropical Storm Cristobal just here. So Tropical Storm Cristobal is giving maximum sustained winds at the moment of 60 miles per hour. With a central pressure of 994 millibars. We can actually see all of the latest information about Cristobal. So, National Hurricane Center saying damaging and deadly flooding has already occurred in portions of Mexico and Central America. Cristobal is expected to produce additional extreme rainfall amounts through the end of the week. The heaviest additional rainfall is expected to be over southern Mexico and portions of the Yucatan Peninsula, while also extending along the Pacific coast from the Chiapas to Guatemala and El Salvador. This rainfall could cause widespread life-threatening flash flooding and mudslides. Tropical storm conditions will continue along the coast of Mexico, where a tropical storm warning is in effect. And point number 3, Cristobal is forecast to begin moving northward across the Gulf of Mexico on Friday. And there's a risk of a storm surge, rainfall and wind impacts this weekend along portions of the US Gulf Coast from Texas to the Florida Panhandle. While it is too soon to determine the exact location, timing and magnitude of these impacts, interest in these areas should monitor the progress of Cristobal and ensure they have their hurricane plan in place. So this is the forecast cone for Cristobal. You can see at the moment, Cristobal is down here across southern or central parts of America, and going to move northwards as we go into the weekend. So pushing into the Gulf of Mexico sometime around Friday. That's the position really as we get into Saturday. By Sunday, pushing further northwards through the Gulf of Mexico, and by 1 AM Monday, slamming into the Gulf Coast, United States. The central position has this slamming into the state of Louisiana, but of course it could be anywhere really within this area just here. So it could hit from Texas all the way over to Mississippi or Alabama, but the central forecast position is to be hitting the state of Louisiana. But everywhere along this Gulf Coast is likely to get impacts from this storm as far east as the Florida Panhandle, as they are saying. So this is the forecast from the GFS, midnight run of the GFS. We can see it at the moment. We can just make out Cristobal down here. As we run through, we'll go through 24-hourly steps. So there's not much movement of Cristobal in the next couple of days. But from around Friday, we just start to see it beginning to push northwards. And then as we go into Saturday, that's when this tropical storm will start to move up through the Gulf of Mexico into Sunday. There we are, quite a significant tropical storm then heading up towards the Gulf Coast of the United States. And as we move through into the latter stages of Sunday, here it comes, pushing northwards. And yeah, this looks like going to give an impact. Again, the GFS has this impacting the state of Louisiana, but of course all areas along the Gulf Coast could be impacted from this in terms of copious amounts of rain and really severe winds as well. So this tropical storm then pushes northwards. It will kind of dissipate as it goes inland across southern parts of America. It's certainly a very significant impact. Let's have a look at the precipitation forecast with that. So got to find precipitation just there. And so there we are on Saturday. You can see, again, really torrential rain pushing northwards through the Gulf of Mexico as we go through into Sunday. Here it comes moving onto the Gulf Coast of the United States. You can see there is a potential for some very, very torrential rain with this tropical storm, of course. And it's one of those that could bring quite a long period of very wet weather along this Gulf Coast. So it could be a rather slow moving storm, I think, this one, producing copious amounts of rain and severe flooding potentially across the Gulf Coast. There will be very significant wind impacts on the coast with this tropical storm as well. And even into Monday and the early part of next week, the GFS still wants to have quite a bit of rainfall around until it gradually starts to weaken as we go through into sort of the middle part of next week. Let's have a look at a couple of other models. So have a look at the GEM. Here we go. And again, we see it at the moment. Cristobal is just, we just make it out at the very bottom of the chart there. As we go through into the end of the week, then we start to see Cristobal beginning to push northwards through into the Gulf of Mexico. And then into the second half of the weekend, here comes Cristobal moving northwards up towards this southern coast of the United States, the Gulf Coast of the States, getting an impact from Tropical Storm Cristobal, giving very, very strong winds on the coast, and also quite a stationary area of low pressure. You'll see quite a stationary tropical storm that will produce copious amounts of rain along this Gulf Coast. Of course, it's a while away, so it'll take a while to firm up on the exact areas, but again, in the worst of this rain with Tropical Storm Cristobal. But I think all areas along the Gulf Coast should be sort of preparing for quite a rough time of it over the weekend and possibly through to the start of next week. This is the east end of the Earth. Again, we find that we've got Cristobal just off the bottom of the chart there as we go through in Saturday. The tropical storm is beginning to move northwards out of the Gulf of Mexico, heading up towards the Gulf Coast of the United States. I think the ECM is a little bit slower in bringing this storm in, but by the end of Sunday, the storm is heading northwards, and again, it's hitting the state of Louisiana as the central point, but anywhere from Texas all the way over to Florida Panhandle will be impacted probably by, at the very least, heavy and torrential rain and flooding with this. And then the tropical storm pushes further northwards inland, and at that point it will begin to weaken and begin to dissipate as well. So very significant developments with Tropical Storm Cristobal. We'll need to keep a very, very close eye on it, of course, and we'll bring you further updates at GasWeather's over the next few days. But this, of course, again confirming the idea that we're likely to be in for quite a big tropical storm and hurricane season this year. It's what we've been suspecting some weeks now, and it looks like it is on course to be a very, very active season. I think the GFS is flirting with the idea of possibly another sort of storm going in a more extended range as well. So this is like to be a very, very significant season, and these early tropical storms are kind of like a heads up about what's coming, I think. So Tropical Storm Cristobal looks like it's going to give a direct impact to the Gulf Coast of the United States over the weekend and into the start of next week. We'll be keeping a very close eye in the coming days. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, share and subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what you think. That's all for now though, and thanks for watching.